Welcome to Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq, back with our annual Singapore Fintech Festival coverage. Organized by the Monetary Authority of Singapore, the Singapore Fintech Festival is on its 6th edition, and we're proud to be a media partner for the 4th year in a row. Joining me for this segment is Bruce Dahlgren. He's the CEO of MetricStream. We're going to discuss trends in ESG investing and reporting. Bruce, it's great to have you with us. Welcome to Trade Talks.
Hi, Jill. It's nice to be here.
Investing in sustainable assets has grown exponentially. What are some of the trends that you see?
Yeah, absolutely. I think just from a technology standpoint, in the past, technology drove a lot of culture, just like the mobile phones, the way we operate and the way we invest. But today, a lot of the culture is driving innovation and technology. And I think that's very true of ESG. ESG is not a new thing. We've been worried about environmental aspects and global warming. We've been worried about diversity factors. What's different today is we can measure it and people are making decisions based on those scores.
Right, and I think that's kind of what the challenge has been when it comes to ESG because of the arbitrary nature of it. What I might find proper governance, you might find something else. So what's new with ESG reporting and regulations that's helping to standardize it?
Absolutely. So what I would say on this one is we've always wanted to be able to track. We've always wanted scores, but there's never been really the standards. There's never really been the requirements. So governments now are driving more of the compliance aspects, the regulation, but I think consumers are asking for this as well. Let me give you an example. Calorie counts. I don't know about you, but in the past, I always wanted to be healthy. Right. So I would go in somewhere and I'd buy something because of the packaging or because it tasted good. Today, what do? I turn the package around. I look at the calories, what's in there, and I make a decision. So I think the big difference is we now have all the data. We can pull it together into reporting with standards and requirements. And people are actually using that to decide what company to invest in.
Right. And Bruce, I think one of the key things about this is using the data in a meaningful way. We can all collect it, but what about the outcome? How are we using this the right way?
100%. You are absolutely correct. So part of it, obviously, is pulling the data from known systems, internal organizational systems that we have, ERP, CRM. But now we also are pulling in external data elements, unstructured and structured data elements from third party, and pulling it all together to be able to do the reporting. But Jill, it doesn't stop there. Once we do the reporting and we audit and we answer the standards, we want to start using that data to make improvements, to make decisions, to start predicting things that we could do different as a business. At MetricStream, we have MetricStream Intelligence. So we take all this data and we start being able to help them make better decisions and improvements as a business.
Do you expect the future growth of the ESG industry to remain on the trajectory that we've seen?
Absolutely. Absolutely. In fact, the pace, and I've been in the industry for 30 years, I've never seen the pace of this. I mean, even if you go back to Sarbanes-Oxley, if you look at Dodd-Frank, these things, the pace of this is incredible. I'll give you an example. I was over in Europe 2 weeks ago. I was watching the BBC. There's a beverage commercial talking about 100% renewable energy. They're not talking about the taste. My flight back to the US, on my itinerary, it listed the emissions that was coming out of that flight, the carbon. So you started saying to yourself, at what point are people going to make decisions predicated on these scores, on this ESG aspect? And it's escalating and accelerating so quickly, but it's not going to end there because companies are going to start differentiating themselves based on these types of measurements and capabilities.
And Bruce, that goes back to your point before with when you look at packages versus calorie count, when you look at the package before and buy product based on taste. But now the first thing that we do, at least certainly in our age group, is look at the calories and the sugar and so forth. And this is exactly what you're seeing as people make their consumer choices.
Absolutely. And by the way, it's not just the investment side. Now you see a lot now, there's ESG scores for companies, and so we're starting to see this more publicly. But I'm telling you, new employees are looking for ESG measurements on what company to join. People are really starting to think through now, what do I want to do? It's great that the company is financially solid. As a CEO, I wake up thinking about profits. but I'm also very concerned with purpose now. You know why? Because we as a society need to start thinking about the planet and thinking about diversity, but we want to make sure that we can show the impact that we're having, because people will want to join our company. They will want to buy our products and they'll want to invest in our companies.
Yeah, that's a great point, Bruce. Appreciate the insight. Thanks for joining us on Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.
Thanks, Jill.